Hello, 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 and welcome to another rendition of Math is Easy. Take it step by step. All right, so we have another inverse operation problem. We got x divided by 5. Every fraction is a division problem. So x divided by 5 equals 3 and 1/10. That's 3.1. 3.1. So what's the inverse operation of division? Well, that is multiplication. So in order to get this x all by itself, I need to do the inverse of what I see. That's division. I'm going to multiply 5 to both sides of that equal sign. So I'm showing you that here. Multiply 5 to both sides of the equal sign. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look and let's just get started. So I'm showing you here the invisible one. There's an invisible one in front of that x, and there's an invisible one underneath in the denominator's place of this 5. And if that's a little confusing to you, go ahead and take a look at my video, Invisible Ones. It will help to clarify a lot of things happening in mathematics. Uh, and go ahead and watch that video. It'll help you out. So 5 times 1 is 5x. 1 times 5 is 5. What I do on the left side, I multiplied 5. I have to do on the right side. So 3 and 1/10 is going to be multiplied times 5. And I wanted to show you here, again, 5 times 5 is 5x. 1 times 5 is 5. Anything over itself is 1. That's the invisible one you see here, which is 1x. All right, 3.1 times 5 is 15.5. And so now I would like to check that answer. I want to check my answer. Once x is isolated all by itself, remember 5 over 5 is 1, x equals, that's going to give me my answer for x. And I'm going to substitute the value of x, the answer I had found right up here in the original equation. So 15.5 will be substituted for x in the original equation. Let me show that to you now. So x equals 15.5 or 15 and a half. Is another way to look at that. I like to check my answer. So I'm going to show you here how I substituted what my value of x is 15.5. So I could substitute that value where x was in the original problem. Okay. I am going to simplify on the left side. If the left side equals the right side, I know my answer is correct. So 15.5 divided by 5, I'm showing you the manual way to divide 5 into 15.5, excuse me. 5 times 3 is 15. Going to subtract that 15. I have a 0 remainder. I bring down my 5. 5 times 1 is 5. I subtract 5 from 5. No more remainder. 3.1 or 3 and 1/10 equals 3 and 1/10. So I know my answer, x, has got to be 15.5. That is my final answer for this particular problem. Inverse operations. So remember, inverse means the opposite. Inverse is the opposite. Hey, let's take a look at another example. Let's take a look at square and square roots. So in this video here, I'm going to show you how to solve and get x all by itself when you have a value of 2 in place in the power. That's to the second power. But I want to get x all by itself. Is x all alone here? No. And you won't have an answer for x until x is all by itself on one side of the equal sign. And so I'd like to show you now how to do that. What is the inverse of an exponent? Well, it's a radical or a square root, both meaning the exact same thing. So you want to take the inverse operation of the exponent, which is a square root or radical, in order to free up the x You want to do that to both sides of the equal sign. Both sides of the equal sign. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like now. So we have x squared equals 144. In order to free this x up and get it all by itself, it's almost all alone, but that power of the 2 is still attached to that x. And I cannot solve for x until x is all by itself on one side of the equal sign. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to take a square root of both sides of each term on each side. That's the opposite or inverse of an exponential power. And so I'm going to simplify a little further. X squared is x times x. 144 is a perfect square. It's 12 times 12. If this step here is confused you a little bit, I made a video on the exponential rules of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing with exponents. Exponents to the 0 power, fractional exponents, negative exponents. Go ahead and take a look at that video. It will help you in understanding what we're doing here. So the rule is when you multiply x's, you add the invisible, I'll show you in a moment, that invisible 1 exponent, right? So x times x is x squared. Now, in order for you to free up these x's from the square root, you need a perfect pair. I got a perfect pair of x's. I can pull one x out. That gets rid of the radical. I got two. Got a perfect pair of 12s. I can pull that outside the radical. X equals 12. So let's go ahead and check your answer. You want to do this for all of your answers. I have here, and we'll be moving on to a second page in order to check your answer. So here you can see I want to substitute my answer 12 into the original problem where x was to the second power. Well, if x equals 12, I can substitute 12 right here in the original problem. And 12 squared means 12 times 12. Well, if 12 times 12 equals 144, then x has got to equal 12. And so we've checked our answer. 144 equals 144 is a true statement. X has got to equal 12. Thank you for joining me in this version. Math is easy. Take it step by step.